My name is Deborah. I'm 27 years old, and I'm also known as Braces on Dimples and Braces TV. And this is my coming out story. I knew that I was different early on, but not much like other people. Some people say that they knew that they were different as a kid. I don't think that I knew for sure that there was something different about me until I was about 15 years old. At the time, my mom was a principal at a school, and she used to bring me to her school, and I became really close friends with one of the girls at her school. Now this girl, she wore baggy pants, and she was different. She was someone who was a little more masculine, and I became close friends with her, and we really grew to have a great friendship because of music, number one, dancing, number two, and just the fact that we were both misunderstood. At the time, I was a Christian recording artist that went by the name of Lady Smith, and she was a rapper, and so we got together and we wrote a song. The song happened to be a hit, and we got to tour around the city and some around the state, performing the song that we had written together. We really bonded over music. I started to realize that I thought that I liked her, and I don't really remember her coming on to me or making any passes at me, but I'm a very honest person, and when I like somebody, I like them. Now, we never had sex or anything like that because I wasn't ready for that. I just knew that I was attracted to her as a person, to her personality, and she was fine. She was fine. We couldn't let my mom know this because I knew that my mom wouldn't approve. My mom was raised by a pastor, so my grandfather was a pastor. And not only was he a pastor, but later on down the line, my mom and my dad both became pastors. So I came from a very, very, very strict religious household. Not to mention the fact that I was a Christian recording artist going around telling people about God. And at that time, at such a young age, it was a huge contradiction because I knew that I loved God, but people always told me that being gay was a sin. This was the time when AOL Instant Messenger was a real big deal. Did I just tell my age? AOL Instant Messenger was a really big deal, and so was Yahoo Instant Messenger. And Yahoo Instant Messenger had something where you could share your picture. Me and the girl, we had kissed and we took a picture. My mom had bought me this dope laptop and digital camera, and I had a cell phone. Those were my 3 pieces of technology that I was able to have. We weren't rich, so it was like a low budget. It was low budget everything, but I loved it because it was mine, and my mama bought it for me, and I love my mama. So we kissed and we took a picture of it, which I kind of regret to this day. Well, once we took the picture and put it on there, apparently my mom, I don't know if she went on my computer or she saw it on her computer, but she ended up running into the picture. And boy, if I could tell you, she stormed down the steps, y'all. She stormed down the steps. And she called my name, and I answered, and when I did, it just wasn't, it just wasn't the best situation, and it wasn't the way that I imagined. Excuse me, I got this makeup on, I was gonna all sweat off. I did not bake, I did not set my face, because I literally put this makeup on at 4 o'clock in the morning just to record this video. So but basically my mom came downstairs and she called my name. And when she called me, I knew something was wrong because I could hear it in her voice. And she called me by my first name and not my middle name. And so when she came down, she had something in her hand. And basically she just said to me, "You kissed her?" And I didn't admit to it. I just kind of was quiet. I didn't say nothing. And she hit me. And she hit me again and again. And this is not to pass judgment on my mother. I love my mother. My mother is the best person in the world. But she didn't understand. And in her mind, by the way that she was raised, being gay was wrong too. It was not something that we really had control over, because when you're raised to believe something for generation after generation after generation, you know, you kind of have no choice but to believe it. And she hit me several times. And when she did, I cried. And I begged her not to treat me like that. And I couldn't help it. And that is not something that I wanted. It's just something that I felt. She took my computer, my phone, and my camera and did not allow me to get it back. She stopped the friendship with me and the girl. I wasn't allowed to see her or talk to her. All of my shows now had to be done with just me and not the girl, because my mom didn't want that negative influence in my life. So we're gonna fast forward a little bit. I got this other girlfriend who we bonded over music, and she was fine. And so funny that I'm calling her fine, because if y'all knew who she was, y'all would just be like, what? And really, we weren't even really attracted to each other all like that. What it was she came from a strict Christian household, and I came from a strict Christian household, and we were the only two people that we were allowed to be friends with. And we met up at my job from time to time and hung out, and we did nothing more than that. I think we kissed, I could probably count on one hand how many times I kissed her. I was 17 at this time. And when my mom found out about that friendship, she tried to cut that off too. I'll never forget, my dad looked at me one day and he asked me if I gave women oral. And I told him that I did, and he called me nasty. And at that time, I think I told him that I did because I didn't understand what he was saying. I think I thought that he was asking me, like, is that what I want to do with my life? Because at that time, I had not done that at all. And he just made me feel bad. He made me feel strange, and he made me feel weird. He made me feel nasty. He made me feel dirty. And so I attempted to shut that part of my life down. I tried to cut off the poison. I thought that me being gay was poison, and that it was a bad thing, and that I would go to hell. And throughout that time, I kind of had girlfriends here and there, but I was very, very, very secretive about it. I didn't let my family know, because the reason I kept doing it was because I couldn't not do it, because it was who I am and who I was. And I felt like, you know, how can I be somebody that I'm not? I privately had girlfriends behind my parents' backs. And I publicly had boyfriends in front of their faces. And again, I wasn't sleeping with anybody, but it was like I had to cover up in order to be accepted and loved by my parents, is what I thought. And so, fast forward a bunch of years later, I ended up getting married. I ended up meeting this man that my mom introduced me to after I broke up with one of my past girlfriends. And she introduced me to this guy. She told me he was a nice guy. I ended up marrying him, and after 3 years of marriage, because he was a gentleman in the beginning. I'm sorry, I'm jumping everywhere. He was a gentleman in the beginning. He was really nice, and he was a good friend, which made me believe that, okay, I can do this. I did not have a desire to marry him, but one day somebody sat us down and they let us know, if you're going to be mentors to younger kids, you guys need to get married because you're living together. He literally looked at me in the bed and said, you want to get married? How do you answer that if the answer is no? I said, I don't care. And the next thing I knew, we were planning a wedding, a very big wedding that I humiliated myself in front of my whole family and all of my friends, and everybody who knew I was gay has come to me today and told me, like, yo, we knew it wouldn't work because you're gay and you're not supposed to be with him. It was an abusive relationship, not physically, but mentally and emotionally. It was abusive. It was draining. I was friends with Dimples years ago, and we had met online. And after we met, I broke up with her. I told her that that she was bothering my ulcers, and I couldn't be with her. And so, basically, she looked for me for years on social media. She was searching for me as a Christian recording artist because she knew that that's what I did with my life at that time. And she finally found me, y'all. After all the years of searching for me, she finally found me. How could I turn her down if she found me? So what I did was I allowed her to be my friend. And it was strictly platonic. It was nothing. It was nothing there. We were just great friends. She understood me. She listened to me. I listened to her. I listened to her relationship issues. She listened to my relationship issues. Dimples was helping me out financially, basically. He took my phone and he threw it on the railroad tracks. I lost my keys. Oh, he put me out of the house with nothing but the clothes that was on my back, y'all. Like, literally, Dimples had to take me and build me from the ground up because I literally had nothing anymore. He put me out. I ended up staying in my cousin's attic for a couple months. And then by that point, I had already separated from him. I had already told him I didn't want to be with him, and I was pursuing Dimples. That was a tough part of my coming out story because it was the time that I came out. My family knew that I had a history with homosexuality, and I decided to go back into that and live for myself and be my true self and not live for other people. So basically, Dimples moved down here to help me get back on my feet, and I had to, in the process, because I'm a very family-oriented person, and so therefore, when I was married, I was used to being around my family all the time with my mate, and not being able to do that completely and worrying about acceptance of me and my partner and my lifestyle, it just all kind of took a toll on me. And one day I just stood up and I just said, look, you know, this is who I am. This is what I'm choosing. I am choosing to be happy and not to hurt. And I don't want to, in the process, be a hindrance to anybody else. But I've got to do what's best for me. And since then, you know, I've lost a multitude of friends, several friends, because they didn't agree with my lifestyle. My family, they kind of were a little indifferent and they kind of were standoffish, but eventually, after explaining to my mother that I'm happy and that, you know, I still have a relationship with God, I'm still very spiritual, and this person truly makes me happy, and I don't have to suffer and I don't have to cry, and she doesn't have to worry about me anymore. I'm financially stable and all of that. She began to kind of be a little more open-minded. So, you know, we inched in, coming in more and more to family events and things like that. And for the most part, my family loves her now. We are very active in ministry together. We are very active in our church. We are very active in my family. We raised 2 beautiful children together. I feel like if I didn't ever come out or allow myself to come out, I would not be where I am or who I am today, because I would still be living a lie, being secretive. And with me knowing that I can be open and I'm not going to be judged and I'm not going to be treated poorly because of my choices and my choice to be happy, it feels good. And so because of that, me and my mom have a very open relationship. We are really, really close. I don't think that they would have appreciated, my lifestyle if I wasn't in a terrible relationship right before this one. But me being in a terrible relationship before this one has actually aided in a positive way as far as my relationship now, because my mom and dad can respect a healthy relationship. That's how I came out. It's nothing major. No, my family wasn't happy when it happened. Yes, I did deal with physical discipline because of it. Do I love my family any less? No. Am I still very close to my family? Absolutely. I am Braces from Dimples and Braces YouTube TV, and I just want to thank you for being here. Thank you for stopping by. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share these videos. Maybe this video might give somebody else the courage to come out. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to leave me a comment down below. And in the comment section down below, what do you think about my coming out story? Can you relate in any way? Is there anything in my story that, you can truly relate to? But again, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and tell a friend to come kick it with us, because we always a little bit lit over here. The grass is always a little bit greener on this side, baby. And also make sure that you hit the notification bell when you subscribe, so that you never miss another video with Dimples and Braces TV. Thank you guys again for coming by. I really appreciate your love and your support. Bye.
But I suit you and you suit me. Dimples and Braces, Tube TV.